So, Hillary,
Yes,
we just had
Stephen.
a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner
You did
for
indeed.
two with salmon that was crunchy and soft on the inside with a so an S taste word. A sauce that was absolutely filling. And we had a salad with dried figs cut very into small pieces and put together with savory fig balsamic and flaxseed oil with Herbamare and pepper, and the salad consisted of arugula, spinach, spring greens, and radicchio, and a little bit of those iceberg lettuces
Oh,
as
you,
well.
you got a lot of different lettuces in there.
And that was tossed, and the fig was salted.
You mean the romaine?
Romaine,
You don't
yeah.
have any iceberg.
That's what it is, romaine. And the romaine was salted. And how did you come up with that salmon?
I love the way you say it. Pronounce the L.
Salmon.
Salmon. Salmon.
Salmon. How did you come up with the salmon?
How did I come up with the salmon? Well, the salmon
Jumped
grew up by itself in the ocean.
Very happily.
Somebody caught it. It's a farmed salmon, but I gather they use organic feed, so it was an organic salmon.
Organic salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Grateful for organic farms of all kinds.
And hopefully they had it managed well, so the water came in and cleaned it out, and hopefully it was a well-managed farm, fish farm.
Mm-hmm.
If they're feeding their fish organic feed, then they've probably got down the other aspects.
Well cared for. Eco-farmed. Yes.
So the salmon was just broiled.
What did it have on it?
Simply put just a little bit of olive oil on it, and it could have been any oil, but I usually put olive oil on salmon. So, and some of that salt, the large grain salt that I have. It's from France. It's like that, but this is from.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
My brother gave me a whole set of different salts. So it just had the salt and pepper on it. That was really simple.
Simple and delicious.
Put it under the broiler.
Broiled to crunchiness.
Yeah. And then I took it down.
About 7 minutes taking it down.
A little bit earlier after taking it away from the heat. But salmon, fish does cook fast.
And it came out perfectly crunchy. It was so delicious. And what was the sauce made of?
And the sauce was made of. First, I chopped shallots really fine, minced shallots, and put them in with some white wine and some.
Was this the white wine?
Mm-hmm.
We have a Cottonwood Creek white table wine made with organic grapes in 2009 from California.
Slightly sweet, but not too sweet, just right.
Just right sweet wine.
So I put the wine and the shallots and the vinegar and put it over heat and let it cook gently.
Mhm.
Oh, no, and the tarragon. So I chopped up tarragon.
And that went in after it was cooking for a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was cooking for a while before I
Mhm.
put the tarragon in. But reduced it down, so it reduced by way more than half, even until there was really hardly any liquid.
So down to about half of the liquid with
There's
heat.
maybe about a quarter of the liquid. I mean, it started out with about that much and went down to about that much liquid.
So heat sublimation.
So you let that boil down, but it's the acid that you need. And I guess the acidic aspect of it stays as it's boiling off. And then I put some mustard in it.
A little bit of that spicy brown mustard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just put salt, probably the Herbamare, because I use that generally when I can instead of salt. I mean, it's got salt in it, but I just like the flavor of it and a lot of things. And pepper. And then I chopped up, I took little bits of butter. You weren't there when. I'm glad I went and got the
Extra
more
butter.
Needed it for that sauce. So I whisked over very low heat and put a little bit of butter at a time and whisked it in. And eventually it started to emulsify, keeping it over lowish heat, because the heat is too high in that kind of sauce, it'll break and it'll separate. So just kept whisking it till it was thickened from the emulsification. And that's the sauce.
And we had some pumpkin pie. It was very soft and sweet. And I know it had some cinnamon in it. What else did it have in it?
It had egg and
duck eggs.
It had a little of everything. I had one duck egg left, so I used the duck egg and I used another egg, and I kept kind of changing it around because when I put the molasses in, the molasses had such a strong flavor that I then needed to
Uncle Harry's.
fill it out a bit more.
Iron, calcium, potassium. You can taste the iron. It's so strong.
Organic molasses.
Nutritious organic molasses from Washington.
Very dark.
Very dark.
Weird color. Put it in, the whole thing could have turned this olive green color. Not terribly appetizing.
But incredibly nutritious.
Yes, nutritious. And then the other sweetener that I used was that blue agave. And I just
raw agave nectar.
Yeah, which actually had more flavor than the lighter kind. Doesn't have much flavor, but when I tasted that on its own, I was like, oh, this has got some flavor to it. I just gave it a good squeeze of that. I have no idea how much.
Just a good.
I put in. Yeah, just the molasses I just poured, and the agave just squeezed. And so the spices were cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger and allspice and clove. And a little bit of salt, just a very small amount of salt. And I think that was it.